Hi everyone. So today I'm going to discuss how I planned my 5 day Singapore itinerary. Actually, we have been thinking about Singapore for a long time now, and after COVID, we were thinking when to go. And this year, our 10th anniversary, marriage anniversary. So me and my wife and my daughter, 8-year-old. So we decided that in December we'll travel from Delhi to Singapore for actually 6 days. 6 day we checked out of hotel and had the whole day. Our flight was at night. So from Delhi to Singapore, it's a 6 hours flight. We booked Air India, and I didn't want to take a package, so I wanted to plan it myself. So I booked air tickets around 2 months back and hotel also. So hotel, I had you have to plan. So if you want to be in a touristy area, there are options of a lot of hotels in Little India and the Buggy Street. So I booked a village hotel Buggies on the Buggy Street. The Buggy Street is it's the street which has Haji Street and Arab Street, and it has the biggest mosque in Singapore. And I felt, yeah, that's a nice place, and I was getting a good deal, so I booked it from Make My Trip. So I booked both air tickets and the hotel from Make My Trip. So how I wanted my day is, because it was my first trip to Singapore, so I wanted that we get to see the maximum number of things, but also we have time because we're vegetarians. We have time to have good food. Good, maybe we have to find for food sometimes, right? So we wanted to not stay very far from Little India, and also plan ahead for where we'll eat. So the 6 days we wanted to definitely cover the zoo, the Universal Studio, the Gardens by the Bay. We want to be at Marina Bay Sands. We wanted to maybe visit Sentosa separately. We wanted to take the cable car, right? So things like that. So we wanted our itinerary to cover the top areas. So first day, I mean, we landed in Singapore. We had a flight from Delhi at night, 11 p.m., and then we landed in Singapore, time adjusted 7 a.m. local time. And luckily, we got early check-in. So that day, we wanted to probably see the local streets near the hotel, like Haji Street, and the Arab Street had food there, and then head out to the statue which has the fish body and the lion's face. It's very popular and signifies Singapore. So we went there and spent some evening there, and then walked towards Clarke Quay to have our dinner. So that was our day one. So basically, right. Day second, we wanted to visit the zoo. And we were just not just wanted to visit the day zoo, but also the night safari, which is kind of our top of our places to visit, because it's a very unique experience. I think you should also be. So we did zoo and night safari, both of them very unique. There are a lot of interesting shows. I would highly recommend the Creatures of the Night show, and also Splash Safari and Rainforest Fight Back. And also in the night safari, just don't take the safari in the tram, but just after the tram ride, do take a walk around. Uh, it's dark, but it's a lot of fun. Um, on day three, we wanted to keep for the Gardens by the Bay. So there is a lot to do. So we took the tickets for the Flower Dome and Cloud Forest. Both are decent, 3-4 hours. And then we wanted to watch the night show, which happens in the same compound. And also we visit the Marina Bay Sands, the big hotel with three buildings and a boat shape right at the top. So we visit the top floor. People visit the deck there separately, but we went for lunch. There's a there are 2 or 3 good restaurants there at the top, so you can actually go for lunch there as well. If you have kids, I think lunch is better because there are restrictions for kids at night. Day four, we dedicated to Universal Studio, and I think whoever goes to Singapore, they do spend a day at Universal Studio. It has its own unique charm and experience. So we visited Universal Studio with my daughter, and her friend also were visiting the same time. So we had a lot of fun, and there are some interesting rides for adults as well. The Transformer, the Mummy, the 2 roller coaster ride, the Jurassic Park ride. So you will enjoy as an adult, and there are a lot of things for kids. So I think by the end of the day, I was very tired. So yes, your Universal Studio experience would start at 11, as early as 11, right, when it opens. And I would suggest you could take an express pass also, but if you're visiting on weekdays, maybe you can try your luck without an express pass. But the waiting queue will be roughly half an hour. But as the day progresses after afternoon, I normally notice even on a Friday when we went, the queues were like non-existing after lunchtime. So see how you can plan. Maybe do the main rides after lunch if you're not taking express pass. Day 5 and 6 were pretty open for us, so we wanted to. We once we reached there, we thought we will figure out what we want to do on the last 2 days. So day 5, we decided to go to Sentosa again. We took the cable car, and I would suggest not to miss that experience and go to Mount Faber Peak, which is a very interesting area. It's connected by southern ridges. There's a lot of trekking options there. So if you are into nature, you can go to Henderson Waves and even beyond. Then you can take the cable car back to Sentosa, and there are a lot of options to do: the bungee jump, the beaches. There is Wings of Time show, and do note to return back if you have the cable car pass. You have to return before 9:30. But Sentosa, you can easily spend your whole day. And day 6 was for shopping. So we went to Chinatown, where you can easily get souvenirs. We visited the Buddha foot relic temple there. It has its own vibe, but like any other Chinatown. We also went to Little India for. We kept going to Little India, in fact, for our meals. There are a lot of good restaurants there, and we visited some of the malls there. You'll find a lot of malls there. On the way back, we went to Jewel, which was also interesting. And so day 6 was basically shopping, and we had a flight at night around 11 p.m. So we went to. So I would suggest you can go to airport a bit early and spend time at Jewel. Do an early check-in if your flight has an option. So Air India has 3.5 hour early check-in option. So we checked in 3.5 hours before, and then went to Jewel and spent a couple of hours. It has the biggest waterfall in the world, and it's a nice, decent mall between T1 and T2. Yeah, so and then we returned. I think other options that you could explore when you're there is Fort Canning Park, Skyline Luge in Sentosa, Sea Aquarium in Sentosa, the 4D experiences in Sentosa, Ion Orchard Mall, and visit Orchard Street. Thank you.